Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is the series we are doing on due diligence, and if you're here for the first time, please click on the subscribe button because you're going to be getting a lot of knowledge on this channel. So today is a special day. We just started the first out of the 4 classes of due diligence that you can perform on any property that you're about to buy, which we talked about: due diligence on a titled land, due diligence on an untitled land, due diligence on a building, that very fine mansion building that you want to buy. If it's built on an untitled land, you know how you're going to go about it. And if it is built on a titled land, how you can go about the due diligence without breaking a sweat. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so this is due diligence on a house built on a titled land. Perfect. That's what everybody wants to hear. The land has CFO or governor's consent, and I'm buying this building that is built on it. Wonderful. But do not miss out on due diligence. No matter how you trust your realtor, no matter how you trust that your cousin, no matter how you trust that your family member or that your family friend, the first thing you should do: title search. Remember our formula: TLS. Title search, legal search, social check. So we start with number 1. Now, what do you do here? You actually pick the title that the developer or the seller or the building has given you, or the builder has given you. You take this title, go to Land Bureau and get what is called, that's CTC, Certified True Copy. Now, what does this mean? Certified True Copies, this is actually the actual title on this property. What is certified true copy? It simply means the copy of that title document, the one you got from Land Bureau, and the one the developer or the builder or the seller gave you. What do? You merge it together. You confirm that they are actually matching. Everything tallies. That's all. The name, the zoning, every single thing. Now, zoning is important here because it's in the zoning that you actually know what the property is for. If it's a house, residential house, not a commercial house, and it's not a farmhouse, then it should have residential zoning. And also, if the land was previously zoned for commercial purposes, that is where we talk about rectification certificate, right? Yes, rectification certificate or rectification letter. What that letter does is that it shows when that transfer happened. Oh, it was previously zoned that this part of Lagos State to be used for commercial, but now is now for residential. It's going to be attached to the title. So these are things that are really necessary that you don't want to miss, and they don't even cost you 0.25% of what you're going to pay for that house. So always make sure that you perform your due diligence. So that is it for title search. So here you confirm zoning, and you confirm name and everything, name tally and truth of seller. So meaning the seller is actually the owner of that property, or the person that the name is on the title is actually the owner of the property. Maybe he has the brother or the sister to sell the property, but you are sure you are collecting it from the person that owns the property. So when deed of assignment is going to be made by your lawyer, guess what? We are not going to say the brother gave you this. No, we are going to say the name on the certificate gave you, transferred the ownership of this property to you, the present person. So before we talk about legal search, we are not yet done with title verification. You're buying a building after all, but we didn't add the surveyor. So your surveyor is supposed to go on site and pick coordinates and compare it with the survey plan on the title document. Merge them together and make sure that everything tallies. Most times it does, but it is important to check. So that is it for title, the major title verification. But because it is a house that you're buying, not land, We're going to talk about permits now. Planning permit, especially if you're buying from an estate. So now we have a developer that is developing a big estate, meaning they're supposed to be planning permits for it. And if you're selling buildings, you're supposed to have building approval on those buildings from LASBCA. Permits come from LASBCA. But there are situations where the planning permit has not been given to the builder or the developer yet. Don't lose faith. You request for two documents, which are called revenue receipt and application form. Now, revenue receipt and application form, what does it do for you? It tries to tell you that, oh, we're in process of purchasing this, but right now we don't have it. So what you do is that you take these two documents to LASBCA and confirm that the permit process is already taking place and necessary dues has been paid by the developer. Now let's come to LASBCA. If there is no permit, most times there is no already building approval, but there can be an authorization from LASBCA, building authorization from LASBCA, which you can also request from your seller or from the developer. So these are the exceptions that come in this due diligence that you need to know, and you don't need to give up. Just because you like something and it's not the way you want it to be doesn't mean that you can't do an extra work in order to have it. So this is one of them. So after verifying after finishing up with LASBCA and LASBCA, then you go to LSTML, Lagos State Material Testing Lab. Yes, Lagos State Material Testing Lab. Now, why do you request this certificate from the developer? It's just to confirm that, oh, the building I'm buying is being built with quality materials. Because before Lagos State Material Testing Lab can give you a certificate and tell you to go ahead with the materials that you've submitted for testing, it simply means that they are good ones. So when you have this certificate, then you can really consider buying. But let's talk about legal search. Okay, so under legal search now, let's talk about legal search. Under legal search, you're going to consult everything that we listed before, even though some might say not all of them are necessary. For example, the probate search, the litigation, the debt check, the social check. Yes, a land might be titled, which is good, but you need to make sure that there are no loose ends. Now, this probate search now is simply to make sure that the person selling to you is an authorized seller. Do you understand? He's an authorized seller, even though he might not be the first owner of the property, but he should be listed under the administrators of that particular property from either a deceased person or a deceased person's, son or thereabout. So what do you do to do a probate search now? You go to either of the high courts, Ikeja High Court or VI High Court. I'm talking of High Court of Lagos. So you go there, you submit letter of administration or a letter of probate grant. So they are supposed to issue you a probate grant for this particular search. Now, what does a probate grant consist of? It consists of the name, if possible, the date of the deceased person that previously owned the property, and then the administrators under it, or the executors, as they call it. A lawyer knows best. I'm not a lawyer, but I have an idea of this because I have done it before. And if you get a good lawyer, he will do this better for you. So now you need to get this grant to make sure that the person selling to you, his name falls under the administrators or the executors. In situations where this grant has been offered already to someone or have been issued out already, you request for what? Certified true copy of that grant. You get it, then you confirm that the name of the person selling to you or the name of the person on the title is tallying with what you are seeing on the probate grant. How does that sound? This might be a cumbersome process for some people, but for your lawyer is not. All you need is a good professional to do this. So that's for probate. Now let's talk about litigation. Now for litigation simply means to make sure that there is no court cases, there is no pending court case in the law courts about this property, there is no encumbrances, there's no legal issue on the property. That's just what you're going to check. Now, a lawyer also do this, What does a lawyer do? The lawyer goes to the High Court of Lagos, whether it's in Ikeja or in VI. Go to the litigation department, submit an application with the parties, with the names of the parties involved, and that would and he will confirm if this land is under any litigation of any kind. A lawyer is needed here because you don't know what to do if something comes up and there is a court case on that land. It's only a lawyer that can interpret it. So even if you're there, your lawyer is the one to do the interpretation and everything. So that's for litigation check. Now let's talk about debt check. So on debt check now, what are we checking for? We're checking for encumbrances, we're checking for mortgage, loan collection, the property is for collateral. You know, it is possible that a developer or an investor or even a private developer can use his property as collateral and nobody will know. It will not be in any record, but you're going to see it in a record. So what do you do in this situation? If it's a company that is selling to you, you can consult the CAC. There's a way you can check CAC to know if the person actually listed down this property for any property of any kind or for any loan of any kind, I mean to say. Also, if he's a private developer, you can visit Inland Revenue Service of Lagos and confirm that this person's credit score is okay and he did not use any property like this for loan collection. So these are very simple steps, very easy steps that a lawyer can do for you. So get yourself a lawyer for this process. Now we go to the last one, which is the social check. Now everyone would think social check is not important in this case because, I mean, it's titled land. Why do I need the locals? You need the locals sometimes. They are the ones that know the truth. So you can visit the LCDA, that's Local Council Development Agency, or you can just ask around, ask other developers, know what's up with other estates around there, ask questions. There's nothing wrong with asking questions. A realtor can do this for you if you can't do this yourself. If you're in abroad, if you're in diaspora, get someone to do a social check for you. Your lawyer can also do that. But this is very, 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 very important. Don't miss it, because there are some cases that are not registered in the law court, but they are very, 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 very significant, and they can pause your work, they can make you leave your house, they can even cause demolition at some point. So you need to ask questions. That is it for houses on a titled land, buying a house or a building on a titled land. So we still have 3 more to go, which is buying a house or a building on an untitled land, or buying a land that is untitled, or you're buying a land that is titled. How to perform due diligence on all this, I'm going to explain it here on this channel. So stay tuned and check out the next one. But then as you do that, subscribe. Click the subscribe button, click the bell icon, so that any video dropped on this channel, you'll be the first to know. Until then, see you on the next one.